All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 6 o'clock, so we will go ahead and call the meeting to order on time, every time. Ready to go? When you're ready, ma'am.
Mayor Holland,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Taylor, Commissioner Brownlow,
Here.
Commissioner Sanderson,
Here.
Commissioner Sawyer,
Here.
Commissioner Wooten.
Here. Thank you, ma'am. I need a motion to excuse Commissioner Taylor from tonight's
moved.
meeting.
So moved.
Commissioner Sanderson with the motion to excuse Commissioner Taylor from tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried. Thank you. Ready, sir? From Chapel by the Sea, you're going to open us with prayer? Yes, sir. There's a microphone up there. There's a teeny tiny switch over there on the bottom of the mic. I will ask when you're done with it, just leave it on. We have public comment right after that, and it gets kind of confusing. But thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And for the crowd, tell us again.
Okay, my name's Josiah Mitchner. I'm the youth and family pastor at Chapel by the Sea. Came on last July. So would you bow with me in prayer?
Thank you for being here, sir. And before I forget, thank you to Chapel by the Sea for an amazing lunch, employee appreciation lunch. Had the opportunity to come and enjoy some of the food and enjoy the company of our town staff. So to everyone at Chapel by the Sea, thank you so much.
We were honored. It's
Thank
a huge deal for us. So thank y'all for everything that you do.
Everyone enjoyed it, sir. When you're
Yes,
ready.
sir. All right, let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and for your love and just the wonderful nature that you have. In your word, it says that man makes his plans, but you establish his steps. And that's what the goal of this meeting is to do, is to make plans. We just pray that you would be a part of all of them. Thank you for the town of Emerald Isle and just a beautiful place that it is. I pray that you would be a part of everything in this meeting tonight. Thank you for your presence. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Josiah.
Yes, sir.
Please stand and face our flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item number 5 on the agenda will be our public comment. There is a sign-up sheet on the table to your left as you came in. If you didn't know about it, missed it, no big deal. We'll address anyone that didn't know about the sign-up sheet that has anything to say. If you will come up to the podium, state your public comments. The microphone is on for Josiah, and I'll give you a quick thank you once you reach your 3 minutes if it goes that long. I'm not trying to cut you off mid-sentence, but we will pay respect to the commenters after that. So that being said, our first commenters, welcome.
Peter Carey.
Good evening, Mr. Carey.
Hello, my name is Peter Carey. I'm from 109 Coquina Drive. Been a full-time resident here for 23 years and a vacationer since 1976. I'd like to first thank all the commissioners and the mayor and the town manager. I really think you guys do a great job running this town, and especially call out to thank the department managers, the town staff. You are doing a wonderful job, and I'm just proud to have you as our leaders. I'd like to give recognition. I want to recognize Matt Zapp for the innovative way he saved the town thousands of dollars to build our new walkways. He did so by buying the material in bulk, contracting the labor, and then using the town staff to facilitate the building of each walkway. By doing it this way, he saved the taxpayers thousands of dollars, and the new walkways that were built this previous winter were done beyond expectations. The design and craftsmanship of these new walkways should help sustain them for many more years than your standard wood walkways. Using PVC for both the decking and the top rails will last much longer, and then to top it off by using stainless steel fasteners and plugging the top rail holes was another plus that was in the design. I'd also like to thank Carol Townsend in the town for her creation of the native planting areas across from Food Lion. They were not only beautiful, but also good for the birds, bees, and butterflies. And hopefully, this is the beginning of some more native planting areas throughout the town. As far as dunes and vegetation goes, this is where it goes downhill a little bit. I believe it has been made clear several times how much the town values this precious resource. I have never heard anyone say, let's get rid of more trees and vegetation. We even had a survey for choices to develop the green space behind the recreation center, and it was overwhelmingly consensus to preserve it and not to convert it to a playground or an open park. Then we had an opportunity to protect more areas, but the builders came to one meeting, and the commissioners decided to remove most of the protections that were in these very revisions. I believe the silt fencing portion of those regulations needs to be put back. If that regulation was in place, the recent misunderstanding between a couple of our residents in the town could have been avoided and saved a lot of legal fees and hostility. I know in the town ordinances, it says we have a person designated as a dunes and vegetation enforcer, and I asked the town to please give him or her the resources to do their job. On another note, stormwater. I know our taxpayers have already spent millions of dollars on this issue and for the pumps and the civil engineering to mitigate the storm water as best as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Kerry.
That it?
Just real quick, please.
Okay. Anyways, for the storm water, I recommend, last sentence at the end here, let me see, I'm concerned that the template now in place to replace these small houses with these mansions is going to be a standard, and the island is eventually going to look like a sandbar. So please address that issue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
No, that's it.
All right. No worries. Excuse me. Did anyone else in the audience miss the sign-up sheet that has anything to say to address the public comment portion of the meeting? It's small and easy to miss. Anyone? All right, that'll move us to item number 6, the we heard you portion, the follow-up to prior comments. There should be, and if there's not, printed on the table, a follow-up to all the public comments from last month. Feel free to pick up a copy on your way out. If there's not enough, let me know directly or let town staff know, and we will make sure to get that for you. Item number 7 would be the adoption of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Commissioner Sawyer with the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Item number 8 will be proclamations and public announcements. I'm not going to read all of the proclamations tonight because I believe we have about 7 or 8. I am going to read one, and I believe we have presence of Tony Dillon and Christian Franklin in the audience tonight. You guys make it down. I think I saw you back there in the back. If you would join me at the podium, if you would like to. If you don't, that's okay, but love to meet you up there. Unless you live under a rock, we know that we've had some very special guests on Emerald Isle this week. One very special guest in particular. I'd like to introduce to you Dylan, Tony, and Christian Franklin, the parents and big brother of Noel Christensen. Like I said, unless you just haven't been paying attention at all, the community outreach, the outpouring of support, the love that we have done our absolute best to show as a community, as the town as a whole, the loving family that we all are and we all strive to be every day. I'm blown away by the support that the people I call family, everybody in the room, has shown to the Franklin family. It is a testament to who we truly are and who we should strive to be on a daily basis. And I'm honored tonight to have the Franklin family with us. And I am beyond honored to have proclaimed this proclamation more than anyone I have ever proclaimed in my short 3.5 years as mayor of Emerald Isle. So without further ado, Town of Emerald Isle Proclamation. Recognizing Noelle Elizabeth Franklin for her bravery, kindness, and inspiring spirit. Whereas the Town of Emerald Isle is a coastal community known not only for its natural beauty, but also for a deep sense of community, compassion, and aloha spirit. And whereas Noelle Elizabeth Franklin, a courageous and remarkable young girl, chose to visit Emerald Isle, bringing with her a light that touched the hearts of all who had the privilege to meet or learn about her. And whereas during her time in Emerald Isle, Noelle's bravery, resilience, and joyful spirit inspired an outpouring of love and support from residents and visitors alike as our community came together to welcome her into our ohana, our cherished family. And whereas the signs, smiles, and gestures extended by the Emerald Isle community are a testament to the lasting impact Noelle has had on our town, reminding us of the strength found in hope, kindness, and the bonds that unite us all. And we thank Noelle and her family for reminding us of what it means to be strong, to love unconditionally, and to live each day with courage and heart. The town of Emerald Isle is proud to be Noelle Strong. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Jason Holland, Mayor of the Town of Emerald Isle, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and all of our citizens, do hereby recognize and celebrate Noelle Elizabeth Franklin as an honorary member of our Emerald Isle Ohana. Be it further proclaimed that May 6th, 2025 shall be known and celebrated in the Town of Emerald Isle as Noelle Elizabeth Franklin Day, in honor of her remarkable spirit and the joy and strength brought to our community and beyond. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto signed my name and officially and caused the seal of the Town of Emerald Isle to be affixed this 13th day of May 2025. Jason Holland, Mayor, Town of Emerald Isle. We love you.
I would just like to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Sorry, be a little emotional. If you don't know, you do know now that on Monday at 10:43 a.m., Noelle gained her mermaid tail and her angel wings. I would like to say, for those of you that don't know, and we just kind of thought of this week, but the first beach we ever brought Noelle to was actually Emerald Isle, and it is also the last beach we ever brought Noelle to. I'd like to say that Emerald Isle was the reason she loved the beach, but she didn't want to sit in the sand. But truly, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. This community, this town, this beach, everything was perfect. It will be our last large memory, and it will probably be one of our best memories. So thank you. And for each of you, keep doing what you're doing. The love and support and the amazing welcome was far none. It was beautiful. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. Franklin, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, the town staff, every community member, every friend, family member, you all and Noelle especially are an amazing testament to strength, bravery, resilience. I know it doesn't help. I know it doesn't make anything go away. It doesn't make you feel better, but you are a stark reminder of family, love, strength, and friendship. And for that, we appreciate the reminder of what's most important and what we should all strive for every day. Can't take away your heartache. We can't take away your pain. We wish you fond memories to replace your heartache just as soon as possible. I'm grateful to know you, and I wish you all the best. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 8B will be our public announcements video.
Here's what's happening in Emerald Isle. Join us for the Neighborhood Watch Pancake Breakfast on Saturday, May 17th from 8 to 11 a.m. at the Emerald Isle Police Department. The Planning Board meets Monday, May 19th, 6 to 7 p.m. in the Town Boardroom. Police Educating the Public is Tuesday, May 20th from 10 to 11 a.m. in the Town Boardroom. And Coffee with a Cop is on Thursday, May 22nd, 9 to 10 a.m. in the Town Boardroom. The Town Administrative Offices and Community Center will be closed on May 26th in observance of Memorial Day. Coming up in June, the Neighborhood Watch Meeting is on Tuesday, June 3rd, 4 to 5 p.m. in the Town Boardroom. The Youth Fishing Derby is happening on Saturday, June 7th, 9 to 11 a.m. at Bogue Inlet Pier. Register now at emeraldisle-nc.org. Make sure to download the new Emerald Isle app to stay up to date with the town of Emerald Isle. And don't miss the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, June 10th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Town Boardroom.
One update, thank you, Mayor. One update, the planning board meeting has been canceled and will be in June.
Say again one more time.
The planning board meeting mentioned in the update has been delayed till June.
Okay, thank you. The planning board is delayed until June. All right, we have a couple of more, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more proclamations. I don't have them in front of me, no disrespect, but I won't read each proclamation, but I do hereby proclaim National Police Week for May 11th to May 17th, 2025. I hereby proclaim National Public Works Week, May 18th through the 24th, 2025. National EMS Week, May 18th through the 24th, 2025. National Safe Boating Week, May 17th through the 23rd, 2025. And National Beach Safety Week, May 19th through the 26th, 2025. Item 8H, catch up on my green sheet here. Item 8H, excuse me, will be the resolution of support to renew the Carteret County's designation as a Coast Guard community. This one has the Board of Commissioners at bat. I don't see any suggested motion. Council or Laura, if you can direct me just a little bit, do we need a motion to renew that designation?
Yes, sir. I would recommend you approve the resolution.
Mr. Martin, will you pull that a little closer to you there?
Sir, I would recommend you approve the resolution, which does require commission action.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I'll ask for a motion of resolution to support to renew Carteret County's designation as a Coast Guard community.
Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt that resolution and we'll all be in a Coast Guard community.
All right, Commissioner Brownlow with the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you. Item number 9, excuse me, will be our consent agenda. Consent agenda item A is the regular meeting minutes for April 8th. B, the regular meeting minutes for closed session. And C, the Emergency Operations Center contract renewal. I'm a little confused there, Council. Can you help me understand? I thought when we had adopted the agenda, it also included the consent agenda. So I think I got it right, unless someone opposes or unless someone needs to make a change to the consent agenda.
So all you'll have to do is just motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Okay, all right.
That will be that.
And that's in my old school, that was the way that we did it. So I just want to make sure I got it right the first time. Is there a motion to a motion to adopt the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion is carried. Thank you. All right, item 10 would be the Crystal Coast Welcome Center's lease renewals. We have our interim town manager, Randy Martin, and town attorney, Mark Salato, with a presentation, and then we'll turn it to the board after that.
I'll defer to the attorney, but we are coming up on the expiration of the Crystal Coast Welcome Center lease agreement with the DOT. Since it's on DOT right-of-way, the town must have a lease for that facility to be on the right-of-way, and that is expiring in July, or July 1. So we're recommending approval of that, and then we will come back in June with a sublease renewal with the Crystal Coast Tourism Development Authority for the use of that facility as they occupy it and operate it. And I'll defer to the attorney for any comments he has. He's had discussions with DOT and as well as I, and with their legal counsel of the TDA.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. So within our current lease with the DOT, it just has a requirement that we give them notice of renewal prior to July 1st. Other than that, it is statutorily required that you all vote on any lease over 1 year, so that is why it's in front of you. So like Mr. Martin said, once we go through with that, the same provisions of that lease will apply. I believe you guys have a copy of that with you. And then from there, we will go and renegotiate our sublease with Crystal Coast TDA. I've been in contact with their attorney. I think we're really just going to shore up some of the language that was a little ambiguous, but otherwise everything is planning to remain the same.
Okay, so status quo. Mr. Martin and Mr. Salato, in your review of the contract with the NCDOT and the Crystal Coast TDA, I'm not here to vote, not here to sway or anything like that. During your reviews respectively, have you seen anything that causes concern? Any reason why you or the board should not move one way or the other?
I have not. I've even discussed it with soon-to-be new town manager, former town manager Frank Rush, who was here when it was originally discussed and negotiated, and he fully supports the recommendation that I made to renew the lease for another 10 years, I believe.
Correct, and in my review, same thing. It's been a very productive relationship between DOT and Crystal Coast TDA, and I think this would be a great thing to move along with.
So no glaring causes for concern at this point?
No, sir.
Thank you. All right, I'll turn it over to the board for any discussion and/or two motions.
Make a motion to authorize interim town manager Randy Martin to renew the lease agreement with NCDOT with similar terms.
All right, Commissioner Sanderson has the motion for 10A. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize interim town manager Randy Martin to renew the sublease agreement with TDA with similar terms.
All right. Commissioner Sawyer with a motion for 10B. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried. Thank you all. All right.
Just to wrap that up, sir, we'll have contracts to you guys for the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. I don't know how long it takes or anything like that, but in the name of not transparency, but time to prepare, 7 calendar days ahead of the meeting, so everybody has time to review it. Is that
Yes,
fair?
That'd be fair.
Thank you. All right, item, excuse me, item number 11, old business committee appointments to the Planning Board and Board of Adjustments. I know there's been a lot of email swirl back and forth, some research from our legal team. I know we have 11 applications for the 4 open positions. Letters were sent to the board April 3rd, May 7th, and May 8th. There's a couple of people that wish to be reappointed. There's 11 people that wish to be appointed. I understand that we don't have, currently with 4 open seats, 3 filled seats, we don't have a quorum on the planning board. So Mr. Stellato, I'll ask you to update the board and the people listening here and at home, the complexities of that, and we'll move forward from there, okay?
Absolutely. So as noted in the letter I sent to you guys yesterday, there are some discrepancies that Ms. Staub and I have found with the current rules of procedure for both boards. As you all know, they are technically the same board. You guys appoint to the planning board, who then also serve as the Board of Adjustment. Currently, we only have 3 seated members. So as he said, we would not have a quorum should they wish to meet. So it's up to you guys. I gave 3 options that kind of are derived from the complexities that exist right now between what the UDO states and the rules of procedure. Technically, the UDO is what holds, so any ambiguities or conflicts, the UDO would give the direction on how to move forward. So if we wish to appoint today, we would have to follow the Board of Commission rules for appointment, as well as what the UDO prescribes, which as of right now is 7 members, 5 of which would then go serve as the Board of Adjustment, 2 of which would be alternates. So I would recommend that we do need to rewrite something. So depending on your action today, whether you wish to leave the boards as they are or change them, we will need to alter the rules of procedure moving forward.
And this includes, I'm sorry, Mr. Martin, for cutting you off, I apologize, but 7 members, obviously 4 makes a quorum. To change the rules of procedure, historically or customarily, the board would vote to send it back over, not down, but back over to the planning board before the UDO is changed. But the planning board does not have a quorum.
Correct.
Correct. So it would come down to the Board of Commissioners. We currently have 4 right now. A 5th is absent beyond control, and that's okay. To recommend changing that back. Is that
That's
where we are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Martin, yes, sir.
Yes, that, as you've just both explained it, we do have some complexities. I do want to recognize for the public's interest, Interim Planning Director Linda Staub, who I'll credit with coming up with identifying the discrepancy we have in the term links. And my recommendation is, since we don't have any pressing matters and no meeting scheduled till after your next meeting, that the board table this matter in terms of the appointments and consider at that meeting addressing any procedural actions on modifying ordinances and regulations to bring them in consistency and compliance. And then after that, on the same agenda, if you so choose, consider the appointments, and there won't be a discrepancy in terms of the term limits if you take that action prior.
Okay. And in that meeting, should it be tabled, they could appoint, let's just hypothetically speaking, in a June meeting by roll call vote, they could appoint 4 new planning board members and also recommend the term changes for the existing and new members to mull over, if you will, and then come back in theoretically July and wrap it up and call it a done deal. Is that correct?
The only complication with that would be you can't set the term until the ordinance is, the consistency of the term. So I would recommend you vote on the ordinance amendments at that meeting. We will put those together and have them there and the options.
Okay.
And then appoint. And then,
Okay, so recommend, yeah, well, that was my question is recommending an ordinance change. The board recommends an ordinance change to a planning board that does not currently have a quorum. So and just wrapping my mind around that, if we send it to a planning board that doesn't have a quorum, then,
no, actually, they wouldn't be able to recommend on it because of the
Correct.
circumstances. And my
Okay.
recommendation is the board actually approve the amendments that night.
okay, that makes a lot more sense, understood.
Yes, sir.
And as for terms, Mayor, the current statutory minimums for Board of Adjustment is 3 years, so that is what we'll have to carry as we remain. Should you guys seek to do something different, it would have to be 3 years if we are going to leave the planning board as the Board of Adjustment.
So the manager and council's suggestion is to table the matter, review, ponder, and potentially hopefully vote on a UDO change in our June meeting and then move forward.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
I make a motion to table this matter and ask for the recommended UDO changes necessary for the planning board, the Board of Adjustment, and we approve that at the next meeting, and if everyone is comfortable with that, then we can move on to appointment, but I don't think that's a necessity. One thing that I would like to see moving forward from this board is, due to the significant role that the planning board and Board of Adjustment plays in the town, that all board members be present for appointments to the planning board.
Let's, and well heard, well understood. Let's, for minutes and records purposes, your motion is to table the conversation.
Table the conversation and review UDO draft changes at the June meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanderson with the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion is approved. I will ask the entire board. Mark texted me when I was on the way in, so I know he'll see this. If you haven't already, and even if you have, please review all of the information provided by our town manager and our legal counsel more than one time and well ahead of the June meeting so that we can all make informed decisions in June. It's a very important situation. It deserves a lot of attention, so review it once, review it twice, and let's all come in June with some positive feedback, constructive ways forward. And I'll
Mayor
thank-
Holland, with that, are we asking council to provide that by a certain time in advance?
I believe via email, unless council has anything else to add, the memorandum that was provided via email from legal covers what we have, the discrepancies, and a suggestion moving forward. If I'm missing something, please let me know. I believe we have the information we need. We just need 5 board members, or I recommend we have 5 board members be well-versed in that so that when we come back in here in June, we can all have a healthy conversation and a great path forward.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask council and town manager a question?
Absolutely.
This is, I was impressed with the quality of applications we had for the planning board / Board of Adjustment. And I sure would like to see opportunities for other people of that caliber to keep serving in our community. I'm honored and pleased that they would even want to serve. How common is it for a municipality the size of Emerald Isle to have a common planning board, Board of Adjustment? In other words, they're the same board.
Sure. I mean, to my knowledge, in the area, they are mostly separate. With the towns that are around our size, I know New Bern's quite larger, but that one's separate, as is Atlantic Beach as well. So from my understanding, towns of this size typically have them separate.
I'll say this, I've seen both, and I did discuss this because of the pending transition with incoming town manager Frank Rush, and I asked him for the history because I'm a big believer in looking at the history. And I'll let him speak for himself at the appropriate time because he would be here for the June meeting. But the part of the rationale is the Board of Adjustment at that time, when the change was made, was meeting very infrequently. And that's sort of the downside to it. If a board doesn't meet regularly, people don't get knowledge, training, bringing them together for training and no actions is challenging. So that was what drove that wagon, as I understand it, of why they were merged, because planning board was meeting on a regular basis, Board of Adjustment very, very infrequently. I mean, like more than a year sometimes between meetings.
There were 18 to 20 month
Yeah.
spans between meetings, and those people did not have,
So
not because of a lack of ambition, but they simply weren't involved enough to be fully educated on what was being presented to them.
So that would be the only challenge I could see to separating it. If you repeat that same in the future, then that will be a challenge. How do you overcome that? I will say this, in my experience, I've seen it both ways, more frequently than not in smaller towns, as the legal counsel just observed in this area. But I think you'll find there's a mix of it across the spectrum of municipal governments. One thing I do want to point out, and not to digress from your discussion on this, but one thing that will require that this all be before you fairly early is the notice has to go in the paper for the ordinance changes. We'll have to advertise that for 10 days, minimum requirements. I believe it's 10 days still, Linda. So
It'll be a public hearing as
yeah,
well,
it'll be a
correct?
public hearing and all of that. So you will get input from the public on all of those topics, but that's a good time to get that discussion going and decide. The difference would be, instead of appointing, you would have to modify the ordinance to separate them. That would be the only other thing.
And I recall, like, I was, back in the 90s, I was the chairman of the Board of Adjustment in Emerald Isle, and, I mean, we were pretty busy at that time. But then we had a pretty rigorous enforcement program going on, too, and I would think that if we beef up our enforcement program here, our code enforcement, that, lack of a better term, business will probably pick up for the Board of Adjustment.
That is certainly a key factor is to their business, is how enforcement actions are going. The more actions that are taken, the more likely you are to have instances like appeals and things of that nature that drive their action. Because just to remind everybody and the public, it's a quasi-judicial board. They don't make recommendations and things on ordinance changes like the planning board, so that they only sit for certain activities.
And there's possible for cross-contamination for the planning board members to be, involved in a case prior to being on the Board of Adjustment, especially if they're making a ruling on an ordinance amendment or something, or adoption. And so, that possibility exists. And I think that's why the general statutes like to have it set up that so there is a separate Board of Adjustment, because it is quasi-judicial based on facts and evidence provided. And then if there's any other cross-talk or anything, then that person should be recused from participating in the meeting. And I'd like to thank Linda Staub for coming in and out of retirement. I talked to her about this also. She's got a lot of experience on it, and I'm sure that she'll be able to help us out moving forward with the planning board terms and stuff. Thank you, Linda.
Just one last thing of note. So this would not require the same procedure as the UDO, but for the rules of procedure for both boards, would you also want us to shore up that and make sure it's in line with the UDO while we're doing all of these changes and have that presented to you in June?
Which part?
The rules of procedure for each of these boards. So we
Yeah.
would bring it all in line and make sure that everything's
Seems like they coincide and would be absolutely
great.
necessary.
And so that would not have to have the public hearing aspect. That's not a UDO change. You guys could just vote and adopt and discuss as you do
Right.
other.
I think we need a motion. Anybody opposed to that?
I'd just like to see all options.
Good, perfect, thank you. Were all your questions answered, so I don't want to move on without.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, item number 12, Pamlico Sound Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan Renewal. Interim Town Manager Randy Martin, you're up, sir.
Yes, and it's my pleasure to introduce formally and ask her to come to the podium and make comments. Linda Staub, who inherited this in transition. The prior staff had attended meetings and participated, and some current staff below the director level, participated in the formulation of this plan, and she can speak to how important it is. I can, and also a companion item, I wanted her to make you aware of that a copy was put before you tonight that while she's up, to talk about just briefly a FEMA letter we received of approval. But regarding the Pamlico Sound Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, this is very important. This is one of the keys to the qualifying the town for reimbursement in federal disaster declarations and things of that nature. So without further ado, Linda.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Let me say
being here.
that first.
Welcome and thank you for being here. I had a chance to meet you briefly, but thank you for being here.
And I look forward to working with you. The Pamlico Sound Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan sets us up for mitigation grant funds in the event of an emergency or a hazard, like a hurricane. So it's very important to be part of it. And you actually have been part of this process and this plan for a number of years, and this is just an update. And as an aside to that, you participate in the community rating system. And thanks to Chris Seberg and Matt Zapp, you are continuing your Class 7, which means that anybody who has an NFIP flood policy in your town will receive a 15% rate reduction. So, and you get points for being part of the Pamlico Hazard Mitigation Plan. So it all kind of combines in together. But congratulations, that's really quite an accomplishment to get the 15% in a Class 7.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh, that was fast.
Short and sweet.
I thought you had more than that. Very good. Any questions for Ms. Staub regarding the Pamlico Sound Regional Hazard MIT Plan? Comments, questions, anything like that? Nope.
Make a motion to adopt the Pamlico Sound Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan resolution.
All right, Commissioner Sanderson has the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. You talk about that much more than our town clerk does, so. Thank you, and again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. All right, item number 13 will be the, update on the North Carolina League of Municipalities Health Benefits Insurance Pool Closure. Big topic item right there. Impacts a lot of people. Mr. Martin.
Yes, and news is still very positive on this. I've just got 5 bullets I want to make you aware of. There's an update to you and the employees and the public. The town administration, since the prior discussions, have had discussions, negotiations, consideration of 11 different broker options. To varying degrees, they've submitted information based upon proposal responses. We've given them consideration. Secondly, the overall lower plan cost options for the town are a given. They're for sure. We're going to have reduced costs in this area of our expenditures. The previous renewal, based on its current year enrollment, will be at a lower cost going forward. The other thing I want to mention is renewal coverage options, as good or better than our current coverages, have been negotiated in this process. We're going to have the opportunity to add spousal coverage, which is something that we've heard input from employees that they would like to see be available. The town wasn't able to provide that in the years past, in part because of some provisions of the marketplace, the federal guidelines and so forth. Those have since been corrected to the point that the town can now offer spousal coverage. And so the additional tiers in our offerings have been negotiated as part of this process for the first time in years. And lastly, on this part, we expect to offer optional plans to employees beyond the high deductible that has been the tradition that we've had, with a more traditional type with co-pays. We're looking at those type of options as a second option for those employees that might be interested. The town's share would not change, but if an employee, it fits their needs more, then we're certainly looking at that. The third item I want to mention is we're at decision point stage. The time is nigh to complete the process. Staff is already preparing for open enrollment to come up in a few weeks, but we are expecting to finalize this in the next very near term, within a week or less. Fourthly, sufficient budget considerations. One of the next items we're going to talk about were built into the proposed budget for the best options available to us thus far. So we're in a good place in terms of the budget and how it was crafted to recognize the savings that we anticipate from this program. Lastly, the good news is we'll meet the deadline for renewal by the July 1 end of our current coverage, no gap in coverage for our employees. And I'll answer any questions, but that's the report we have for you tonight. I'll defer to another person who's a few words, but of a great knowledge and experience in this, if she wants to add.
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Mr. Martin. Lori, anything to add to that? I have one or two questions, but the board might have more, but anything to add?
No, just really thrilled that we were able to get, a good response from several brokers. And, we were concerned. We didn't know what we were facing, and we didn't, we thought maybe we would have some pretty heavy financial impact, but really thrilled. And one of the feedback things or success things that I thought that we heard from one of the brokers that the town staff is really, we're healthy, so we have a good score. So that was really good. So I was really happy to hear that too. So I wanted to share that. But we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to rolling out open enrollment.
So positive feedback, very positive effort, it sounds like, on behalf of the town staff, getting on top of this right away. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody if it's just you or you and one or you and three, being covered and being able to stay healthy is a really, really big deal. So I commend all of the town staff for the work that they've done putting into this. It's being covered on health insurance is almost, if not more important than how much money you make. It's a really big deal. So I thank you all for doing that. Sounds like all positive news at this point, probably, or maybe some more positive news that we were expecting with the potential to be able to insure spouses and things like that. Laura and Randy, any causes for concern at this point, or any action that you need from the board right now?
No, your previous action, I think, is sufficient, but currently no worries. It's just a matter of little old-fashioned horse trading, playing them against each other. I don't mind saying it publicly. We're doing everything we can to get the best value for the town in terms of the lowest possible rates without compromising on coverage. And I've done that a few times, and we're having a good success. More competitive among the companies, particularly the larger companies, than I've ever seen in 40 years in local government. I've not seen it like this, where they want our business like they do.
Sir. Well, it goes without saying, in my humble opinion, I'll speak on behalf of anybody who wants to stand beside me. Our people, our town staff make it run. They make it work. Is there anything that you or anybody else in our administrative team needs from the board? I know I don't do a whole lot, but is there anything you need from us
Nope.
to make it better?
Just when we get into the budget,
Need some money. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like
Please.
to say thank you to Laura and Randy and the staff for working so hard on this, because it is a big deal, like you were saying, for the employees. And I know being on the state retirement system, that it comes in handy. And I think it's wonderful that we're going to find an option that will include spouses as well on that. I think that's a huge benefit. And I heard Randy mention value, that we found some extra value in that. Savings, what was it, Randy, was it 9%, or Laura, was it 9%, or maybe even better? I don't want to take away from the budget discussion on that.
No, overall 9%, so that included health, all the ancillary, and then the contribution to the health savings account. So really happy. So it was roughly in budget about $1,000 a year per full-time employee.
Wow, that's
It was really
fantastic,
good.
thank you. So 9% savings, that's incredible. Great work, thank you.
Thank you all. Anyone else have questions for staff as far as the insurance benefits pool closure? Thank you. Excuse me. Item number 14 would be the presentation of the fiscal year 25-26 recommended budget. Mr. Martin and Ms. Rochford, the floor is yours. If you excuse me for 1 minute, but don't wait for me, okay?
Thank you, Mayor and Commission members. It's my pleasure, it's hard to say that word when you're presenting a budget, as much work as it goes into it, but it is a genuine pleasure to be able to come before you tonight with what we believe is a responsible budget presentation. I will be deferring to the Finance Director to give you the nuts and bolts and the meat, but I did want to make a few comments, particularly for the public and those that might be interested in this topic. Since there's been a considerable amount of discussion countywide, statewide, with regard to annual budget processes, and particularly here in Carteret County, where we're going through a property value assessment and real property reassessment and revaluation process that has significant implications on the budget process. Tonight, I'm just going to hit a couple of highlights, and then I'll defer to the Finance Director for more specifics. But of course, this document is available publicly on our website, and you can, in full, and any citizen has the right and ability to go on there, and we'll try to answer any questions that are generated from any of the documents that are on the website and available for public consumption. To the Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, the FY 25-26 recommended budget is attached for your review and consideration. The budget across all funds is recommended at $15,226,948, which constitutes a 7.4% overall increase above the 24-25 originally adopted total budget. That is stated that way because the budget for the current fiscal year does have modifications throughout the year, but we use as a target what was approved last year going into the budget year. As an overview, the town of Emerald Isle is committed, and in my experience here 6 years ago it was then and still is, to the delivery of high-quality services while maintaining one of the lowest property tax rates among oceanfront municipalities in North Carolina. The town has a history of strategic investments that enhance the quality of life of residents while attracting tourists, retirees, and potential investors. Success is relying upon establishing innovative financing, establishing clear priorities, adherence to prudent spending, organizational flexibility, innovative financing when necessary, and focused collaboration with external partners. This approach requires fiscal responsibility, which management contends is reflected in the FY 25-26 budget proposal. The 25-26 budget aligns with goals charted beginning with your January budget retreat and subsequent meetings and input that we've received from members of the commission collectively and individually. The recommended balanced budget proposal lowers the property tax rate significantly, and Laura will cover the specifics, from the previous fiscal year rate, reflecting the impact of the aforementioned Carteret County 4-year cycle revaluation of real property. It also is impacted by prevailing inflation rates and other economic factors that affect our costs associated with delivery of service. The recommended budget is crafted to provide the requisite resources to meet resident and visitor service expectations, maintain facilities and equipment while investing in enhanced community quality of life opportunities. Despite growing budget challenges, management is confident in the fiscal responsibility of the plan. Management and staff have been diligent in their efforts to prepare for the upcoming budget review process with a sincere desire to achieve commission consensus through any scheduled work sessions and, of course, the required public hearing, which is scheduled for June 10th, 2025. I'll jump to the back of the message with just a brief further comment. And a thank you to all who have helped put this together. In conclusion, the FY25, of my part, the 2025-26 recommended budget aligns with the stated budget priorities. It's management's desire that both the board and the community will broadly support the spending plan when it's finally adopted. While departmental requests were thoughtfully prepared to address service and operational needs, management recommended a $262,961 reduction to ensure a balanced budget within available resources. We'll give you more details on that aspect in the input we received at your workshop. The proposed budget expects town staff and will continue efforts to manage expenditures in the hopes of ensuring efficient service delivery. Recommended budget is balanced as required by law with the impacts of the real property tax rate adjusted to 0.1025 or 0.1025 pennies and a solid waste fee adjustment of $35 per year proposed. The board is encouraged to review the budget carefully, as I know each of you have already been doing, before making any necessary adjustments to reflect the desired priorities and the board's future vision for the town, because it is your budget as a board on behalf of the citizens for you to finally, now that we have referred it to you, it's only a recommendation. It is the board's budget from this point forward to do with as you deem in the best interest of the community. In conclusion, the annual cost of town government in this upcoming fiscal year for the average value property owner in Emerald Isle, if the recommended budget is approved as is, will be approximately $92.73 per month for all town services. Management extends thanks to all department heads and Emerald Isle employees for their dedication in preparing the proposal. I commend the mayor and commissioners for your public service and stand ready to assist in finalizing the budget. And may God continue to bless this wonderful community. And with that, I'll recognize Laura Rochford to go over her PowerPoint presentation, which is very good, well done, and will give some nice information to the public.
Thank you. I think Greg's got it for me. Greg or Mark? Yep, there it is. And as Randy said, this is on the website. I have a hard copy. If anybody would like to see the hard copy, come on by Town Hall. We have it there. There's a lot of good detail in there, graphs and statistics and trends. So, but this is just the highlights, and some of them Randy mentioned, but I'll go through them. I'm going to get my glasses on. Again, the 2026 recommended budget, it's developed with the goals that were set by the Board of Commissioners, and they were discussed at our budget workshop this past January. We intend to maintain or improve upon the high public services and standards for which Emerald Isle is recognized. The local property tax rate recommended is 10.25 cents, which Randy just mentioned. That's what we're recommending, and that would be down from the existing tax rate of 16.5 cents. And our revenue neutral tax rate that we discussed at our last board meeting was 9.29 cents. We're just a little bit less than a penny increase over that revenue neutral. We are asking for consideration of an increase in our solid waste service fee to achieve full coverage of all those service costs. So we would go from an annual fee of $300 per year, and the proposed rate would be $335 per year. And that equates to just under $28 a month if you do it on a monthly fee.
Well, see that slide, I noticed that, it goes, maybe a typo, $291 a month to $27.91 a month. Is it
Yes.
supposed to be $24.91 a month, or am I missing something?
I'm sorry, I don't have the old monthly figure, but it was, the $35 is $291 a month.
Got it, okay.
So the increase is $291, but thank
Okay,
you for
just want to make
asking.
sure,
Yes.
yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yep, so we do look at that at a monthly rate and just check all the figures, and we felt that that was still within reason. We don't want to get too high with price, of course.
Got it.
And then lastly, part of the discussion, and then you'll see it at the last slide, is we would like to recommend that the board consider dedicating a new revenue stream to fund key capital outlay or key capital improvement projects. So we'll get to that in a minute. The big ticket items are key items in the budget. We have requested 3 additional full-time firefighters. This is for National Fire Protection Association compliance and standards, and that will also allow us additional coverage on Coast Guard Road, as we've discussed in previous meetings. We are requesting the replacement of aged equipment, critical equipment, including Public Works backhoe that you're familiar with, I think, patrol cars, and then our brush truck, yard debris brush truck will be due to be replaced at the end of the fiscal. We are also including our final FEMA 428 projects. Most of those projects are complete, but we're working hard. We want to finalize Fire Station 2 and 3 critical stormwater projects. And then we have included a salary increase for our town employees. This is consistent with the Consumer Price Index, and we've also included a little market competitiveness for certain positions and adjustments for emergency service employees. All right. And again, just quick, I'll try to go through the numbers. I know you've heard them a little bit, but grand total, this is all of our funds at the top. The total budget, that's our general fund, our future beach nourishment fund, and our special events fund. Our total budget annual is $15.2 million. General fund by far is the bulk of that number. That's $14,482,562. Sorry, no round figures, just right to the second dollar. And as Randy mentioned, that is about 7.8% above last year's budget adopted. And again, you see those key figures, our recommended tax rate. That tax rate, 9.75 cents of that tax rate goes to general services, and then 1/2 penny is dedicated for future beach nourishment out of the general fund. And again, like Randy said, Emerald Isle for years has been one of the lowest tax rates within the 21 oceanfront municipalities, and I'm quite confident it will be again this year when we get all the tax rates in. And then again, that solid waste fee that we're recommending. Those are the big hitters. Future beach nourishment, we've budgeted for $966,886. Again, I don't have it rounded to even numbers, but
It's an even number.
yeah, 967. But anyway, that budget, we are recommending a special district's tax rate of 2.2 cents, and that is revenue neutral. The existing tax rate is 4 cents. And then again, we'll transfer that 1/2 cent from the general fund to the future beach nourishment fund, and then we also have investment earnings in that fund. In our budget book, we do have a couple tables. One is where your taxes go, and we calculate the average town property value based on Carteret County's tax value divided by all the parcels, and that's roughly about $759,000. So if we use that average property value to find out how these changes in our tax rate and our solid waste fee are going to impact our residents, an average bill would be $1,113, and now I'm rounding. And like Randy mentioned, just about under $93 a month for your tax services. And we do like that and disclose that in the budget book, and we look at that because you do get 24/7 police, fire, medic, ocean rescue, public works, street, solid waste, our parks maintenance, recreation, community center, our administrative staff, future beach nourishment, capital financing, and community investment. So it is a good reminder to look at that and then remind ourselves of the services that you get. Last but not least, next steps. We are asking the board to review and consider the recommendation, and then we would hope that the board would go for an adoption in June. But further consideration, we do want to recommend an additional up to 1 cent on that tax rate, so that would be in addition to the 10.25. It's not baked in, but that would let us prioritize capital needs. These are outlined in our capital improvement plan, and that would help fund emergency service buildings such as Fire Station 2 that's coming up, some additions to the stormwater improvements, additional street paving in addition to Powell build that we have, upcoming fire apparatus that will eventually need replacement, and then our beach access walkways. So that's up for consideration, not baked in this book, but we would want to have some feedback. And last but not least, I think in our presentation, we did recommend next Tuesday for a budget workshop. So if the board did want to have a budget workshop, we would want to have feedback from you this evening.
So it'll be tentative. Let's stop before we get to the tentative budget workshop. Based on the information provided by Laura, any questions for our esteemed finance director?
Great job. I mean, I set up last night looking at all this. You do a tremendous job.
No, we've had a.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
If we follow the recommendation to up a penny onto the tax rate, how much would that be per month per capita?
I can tell you the annual amount. I might have to get my calculator out.
Oh, you can provide it later.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. And I did have that. It's in.
So
here's-
585,633
Thank you, Randy. I've got it in my file.
a year.
Okay, it's like, this budget, we're at 92.73 per month.
He's
per
doing a
capita.
month
I was wondering, like, if we added a penny to that.
Right, I understand the question. I apologize. I don't have
She
it
can,
handy.
she'll
But I'll get
calculate
that.
that for you and have
Yep.
it.
No problem.
I'll get that for you.
We'll send that out.
Thank you. Any other questions for Laura right at the moment? Sounds like another budget workshop would be very helpful.
Think so.
Anyone opposed to Tuesday, May 20th at 5:30 here in the boardroom for a supplementary budget workshop? Anybody have issue with that?
May 20th, 5:30?
Yes, sir. All right.
Does anyone know if Commissioner Taylor will be available for that?
He will be back. I have not communicated with him, but I'll follow up with him.
I'll follow up with him this evening. Love for him to be here. I think it's very important for him to be here.
Yes.
So let's tentatively pencil it in for May 20th at 5:30. If he can't be here, then I'll communicate with the board individually, and we'll find a mutually agreeable date somewhere between May 20th and June 9th. We'll find a day, but we need another one, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Sound good? Yeah. And in the meantime, and between now and June, when hopefully we're able to agree and adopt a budget, absorb the information that's given, listen to the people that voted you in office, listen to the people that live here and actually pay the taxes that you incorporate. I also would encumber the board with the task of sit down with Laura, go eat lunch with Chief Matthias, see Joe Smith and Chad Strouser and all those guys and girls out there. Stop, take 15, 20 minutes, see how their day's going first off, see what they need. Ask them what they need, what they don't need. I'm not proposing to adopt X cents or cents tax increase, decrease. It takes what it takes. It is what it is. I pay taxes here just like everybody else in the room, but it's not lost on me that the men and women that do it every day by themselves and make it what it is probably know better than most people, or if not all people in the room. I pay taxes. I don't want to spend any more on taxes than I have to. I don't want it to be any higher for me or anybody else than it has to be. If it winds up being less, so be it. But 29 to 30 days out of the month, we drive up and down Emerald Drive as I self-proclaim blissfully ignorant, because nothing's wrong. We don't want for anything. We don't hurt for anything. Take a minute and talk to the people that actually make that happen, and put that in the pipe with these numbers, smoke it, and we'll get together in June. Grandma always told me, we'll put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yes, ma'am. Got it. So, anyway, that's all I'll say about that. All right, item number 15.
Make a couple of comments.
Sure, absolutely.
And again, I do want to give the accolades to staff for putting together what in my opinion, is a great budget. And we're in financial sound condition. It looks like in a healthy condition. Some of the things I noted in the budget, the strong points of the budget is that it's fiscal responsible, and having that 34.65 above the 25%, that ensures our resiliency in the event of like a hurricane comes up, and you want to talk about something that'll deplete funds, as you're well aware. The low tax rate, it is one of the lowest in North Carolina's coastal communities, and challenging. In fact, I tried to find anybody cheaper, and I really couldn't. I mean, that has the same size population and everything. And so for what we're getting for our dollar, it's amazing. The capital investments, the 28 million 5-year plan for the fire station, walkway, stormwater improvements, it's needed, it's necessary, and I'm glad we're looking into that and supporting that. The employee support, the 2.5 COLA, with public safety adjustments and a 9% health insurance premium reduction. That's incredible, and I'm glad we're doing it for our employees so we can have good recruitment and keep our employees healthy and covered with insurance. And also our service delivery. We have a robust budgets for our police and fire departments, solid waste services, and our grants. We continue over $3 million in FEMA grants, 428 funds, and $180,000 from PAL bill, reduced local costs. And so that's, man, all that is just great things, picking out of that budget. Just, it's wonderful, good stuff. And I applaud you for doing that. And then just if there's anything that I would just, we'll talk about it at the budget, at the workshop. But just, future deficits and in the limited events, we have 77,500 for special events, but we're excluding the Beach Music Festival and the July 4th fireworks show. And that, of all the things, since I've been a commissioner, I got more phone calls and emails about the fireworks than I have any other event. So I'm hoping that we can work that back in, if not this year, next year. So appreciate that. And I do want to talk about the solid waste equities too, about that with the rate. It's per house, and some of them have 8 trash cans. Some people have only 1 or 2 trash cans, and they pay the same rates. And so I'd like to discuss that at the budget workshop. Thank you.
We plan to bring up those items, and I've had similar experience in my limited tenure here regarding those events, so I think we need to have a significant discussion. We've even been doing a little research on that, as I noted in the report. I think you should consider whether you want to do that, and it should be a board decision, and we'll try to give you the information. With regard to the solid waste, I certainly think there is a method that can be done. It's going to have to be something in addition to what you're currently doing, since you're doing it through the property tax levy. You can't do it that way for those additional, but there is a way to skin that, I think, and we're going to talk about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you all. All right, comments from our town clerk. She's not here, so that's about as much as she would say if she was. Laura, any final thoughts? Thank you, ma'am. Council.
Sir, I'd like to thank the mayor and the Franklin family for that wonderful presentation earlier, and I'd like to introduce as well our intern here at our office for the summer. His name's AJ Sharp. He's here from Clemson after finishing his freshman year. He's in ROTC at Clemson and is looking into the profession of law. So we're happy to bring him around. This is the second time he's actually been to an MRL meeting, so it's not the first, but in a little bit more of the driver's seat today. So thank you for that. And thank you to Mr. Martin for all of his wonderful work. I think, is this going to be your last one, or be at the next one as well?
The
But
board will decide, I guess, after the workshop, but if they will have me, I do plan to be here at least through the next commission meeting.
We're going to kill 90 minutes of your time in June just out of spite.
just like to thank Mr. Martin for all his wonderful work, and Ms. Rochford as well.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martin?
Just the young man, I won't talk about his alma mater, or soon to be his alma mater when he graduates, but beyond that, he did tell me that he has ties here and lives here. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, I lived on Emerald Isle for 4 years. I appreciate everyone for having me, for letting me to sit up here and get a good view on how kind of the municipal part of the law works, and I appreciate your hospitality today.
Welcome, Mr. Sharp.
He says he's interested in becoming a lawyer, and I used to have a joke, I hate to use it on him, that he may want to be a lawyer now, but hopefully he'll decide to make an honest living now.
Welcome, sir. Thank you, Randy. Commissioner Wooten, final remarks.
Just a big thank you to all the staff, and Linda, thank you for pitching in and helping us get a lot of things sorted out. Obviously, Randy, Laura, Jen, great job on the insurance thing, which was, I was really concerned about that, and you guys made it look easy, coming up with an elegant solution that actually saved us a couple bucks. And as always, the budget, and also to all the department heads and all the staff that provide inputs to that budget. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, and I think we're starting off from a really good place to go into our discussions next week. So thank you all very much, and thanks for everybody for coming out tonight.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Brownlow?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank again Randy and Laura for putting together this budget. It's a difficult time. They've been working hard. I made a couple of trips to town hall for some things, and every time they were just in there going to it and working hard always. And I'd like to thank Linda again coming out of retirement. We go back from the county days and CAMA days and stuff together. And I'll tell you what, she's I wish she would come out of permanent retirement to stay on board, but appreciate her too. I'd also like to thank all of our staff working hard to maintain our beautiful beaches and our community, public works, finance, recreation, fire, EMS, police. We appreciate you all and value your service to our community. And I'd like to ask everyone to please pray for the family of Noel. And we ask the Lord that to comfort the Franklin family at this time too. What the folks of this town did for that family epitomizes to me what a family beach is for Emerald Isle, what that means. And God bless everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Sawyer?
Just want to thank staff. You guys do a great job. I know here in a couple of weeks, everybody's getting the floodgates are going to open. So I know we've got a good staff and that everybody's ready for it. If there's anything we can do, please let us know.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Sampson?
Reiterate everyone's comments on the staff across the board. You're all doing an incredible job. We appreciate you, and we generally appreciate Linda stepping in and helping us out in this interim period, and for the research that you've done and finding what needed to be uncovered with things that we can improve. I think there's always things that we can do better, and we appreciate you bringing that to life for us. And as always, Laura Rochford, you're amazing. I hate spreadsheets, so you can have my t-shirt that says, I love spreadsheets.
Thank you, ma'am. Y'all know how I feel about you. I love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for doing what you do. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Y'all have a great night. Be careful getting home.